Hello and welcome to Sloppy Game Dev number 7. 7th session of me trying to make a game using Claude in my graphics engine written in Rust called Hotline. And this is the game. It's a crowd simulator, a train station. And these are AI agents. And there's quite a lot of them. And basically, I've been working on the tile map, kind of like a flow map for the simulation. These are tiny little arrows, which are I can't. There's some issue with the zoom. That's annoying. So I can't do precision zoom, or is it because the window? There we go. It's because the window's not focused. Right. Okay. So these are small arrows. This is a flow map. These are AI agents. If I reset the map, I can place down some agents, and what will happen is they will go to the destination, which is here, or you can change the goal, and then they'll go to here. So there can be multiple goals. And it's been a few weeks since I did this, so I've actually forgotten where I was up to, but I have been doing some other stuff. So I've been working on a smart speaker LLM thing. That's on some videos on YouTube as well, if you want to check them out. And I've also been doing other things like DIY. I made these shelves behind me. I've been running. I ran 10k yesterday. Like super hands. So back to Sloppy Game Dev. Just checking the stream there. Okay. Right. So let's see where we were. Basically, the if you put down a bunch of agents, they will go to the goal. And then I had some issues where I was looking at like kind of queuing behavior. So they'll form queues. They kind of like, they look a little bit weird when they're going around so they're sort of getting stuck onto the wall there. So there's some like weird sort of clumping behavior and queuing behavior. And so I think that's what I'm going to tackle today. See, they're now in a queuing behavior and they're kind of spreading out, but it feels unnatural, like how it just starts to happen. So they formed a queue because this person, I think, is at the destination. This person becomes near to them, so then they wait and they become a queue. But the behavior seems weird, so that's the first thing to start thinking about, I think, is have a look at where that code is. Lateral spread velocity. I think it was to do with that, and that's been removed, and it says it's not working. I think some other tile maps might be preferable as well. So let's clear the map, and I'm going to make just a simple test case for trying to debug the right. If we have a simple scenario like platform. Okay. I think if I make that a bit longer and more floors. Okay, so now let's save this as race. This one's going to be called Q debug. qdebug.bin. Let's save that out. Okay, and then now if I drop, say, well, we'll do a few. So I'm making a small group of agents. They're not really going towards the goal. Oh, hang on. They're trying to go to goal 0. So they've got some behavior here that if they're not going anywhere, they're spreading out from one another, which I suppose that's could be considered realistic. So they need to go to goal 0. So they kind of, yeah, they do spread out a bit, which is good. You know, you wouldn't want them clumping together. But then now once some of them reach the goal, the others kind of get stuck. And they didn't used to do that. They used to clump up. So the code for this, I think it might be queuing agents. So they shouldn't be coming into this state. What I want them to do is to wait on the platform, basically. Or form a sort of a line. You know, you would expect them to kind of line up. So this is the code for queuing at goal. Neighbor waiting. So I suppose the first thing is I think it could be to do with this. Let's take that code out. And so if I take out the code, I mean, that's the thing about not doing it for a few weeks. I'd sort of forgotten where I was up to. So that's kind of, oh, for God's sake. If at goal or neighbor waiting, else. So this becomes 0u8. Okay, the reload is complete. Oh, what did I call it? qdebug? Right, so I've got qdebug. That's handy to have. So now without that behavior, let's see. Let's see how they get on. Okay, so I mean that's better behavior, but they're not entering the queue behavior now. And so if I had loads of them, then they'll all clump together. So there, you would expect them to spread out a bit more, and they kind of go to the edge. I think there's a few things here, because we do want another scenario, which would be, let's make a more like a single file thing. Goal, okay. Right, so in this case, like they're pushing, right? I can't remember how to pan. Oh, there's pan. So there they've clumped together, and they're all jittery, so they're not really entered A. These guys have kind of eventually sort of spread themselves out quite evenly. That's annoying. The camera movement on the pan is wrong. Like, firstly, let's put Claude to some work. Right, so when I'm going to get him to fix this for me. So when panning the camera, the axis feels wrong. The direction. So it doesn't. Oh, for God's sake! It misses a key press. It's like when the window's not focused. When the window's not focused, it's still getting mouse events, but it's not getting keyboard events until it's focused as well. So I may as well do some quality of life fixes as well while I'm here. Okay, so adding people, they're just going to go, and then they push other people in, which is kind of fine. But I think the thing is like you don't have to stand on the platform. You could use this extra space. So it's like they want to get within the goal, but they don't have to get at the goal directly. Anyway, I'm doing multiple things at once and I'm not even doing them. So the drag is inconsistent. So when I'm dragging, it's done it again. Right. So if I push my mouse upwards, the camera moves upwards. If I push my mouse downwards, the camera moves downwards. If I push my mouse right, the camera moves left. So the x-axis is like dragging, and the y-axis is pulling. Let's say the x-axis drags, move mouse left, the y-axis, what would I say, the y-axis pushes I think the x-axis is correct. I think that's how a pan should work. I suppose it doesn't matter, but because it's inconsistent, it's confusing. So that's that one, and then yeah, there's the case of if I'm holding shift now, the window doesn't have focus. It's getting mouse events, but it's not getting keyboard events. I'm not sure of the best way to deal with that. It's almost like if you get focus, you want to steal that mouse event, because I don't want it to place an object. I wanted it to get focus. Ideally, I don't know, because like it, you know, in Visual Studio, it's my mouse does become active, but if I hit a key, I don't have focus. So it's a bit of a dilemma, that one. Oh, it's crashed. That's because the hot reloading will crash if the changes are made. If the changes are made into the entity component system dynamic library, it causes a crash to do with Bevy. I need to look at that actually. Okay, so that's built. Let's run the client. Right, okay, well. Let's qdebug. Okay, so now let's see if this is working. Yep, I'm dragging. So I think that's better. Let's ask Claude about this issue. So when when the window doesn't have focus, it still gets mouse events if the mouse is hovered. But not accepting key press events. When I click window, editor action as place such as place tile will happen even if I have the shift or alt. Let's see, I can do, I think alt ignores it, shift ignores it, control doesn't. Oh, control deletes. Oops. This is a bit of a conundrum. You know, other apps and not keyboard events. So other apps have it. Any suggestion? I'll see what it suggests. It might suggest either we ignore that initial click when we get focus, or maybe we can check somehow that we've got focus now, and we need to check the, like, if the keys are pressed. Sort of handle this, because that was driving me mad. Like, you know, I think sometimes the quality of the usability of something, it can really, like, sort of, I don't know, if the editor doesn't feel nice, I wasn't enjoying it sometimes, you know, and it sort of adds up, and every time you place one of the things because of a false click while the window's getting focus, you're like, oh, everything feels rubbish, you know, and especially if you're struggling with trying to solve a bug or something. If the editor feels horrible as well, then it sort of all mounts up, and so I think it's important to sort of fix these things as I go along, and ultimately, you know, probably you're going to need some way to navigate the map if you were a player of the game. I don't really know what might be the best way to do it. I haven't played like a building game or a sort of thing like this for a while. I suppose I would expect drag. Right, okay, so let's see what Claude says. Two separate problems. Modifier key state is stale on click focus. Is sys key down, reads from sys key down, which is only updated via key up, key down events. I see. So use get async state key state in sys key down, which queries the real OS key state regardless of focus. Yep. Okay. First click, even with the correct modifier keys, the click that gives the focus. What have I lost? What's lost? Focus. Oh, my camera's gone. Oh, for fuck's sake. It's not charging, but it's plugged in. This is annoying. It should have been charging. Well, you're going to have my voice and I'm frozen now until I get the camera back. Hang on, I've got an idea. Bullshit, man. Fucking annoying. Oh, what annoying hassle this is. Okay, this is different camera. This is my iPhone. Hello. So I'm repairing the stream now. So let's go OK. And we're plugged in. It's a little bit wider lens. This has got a zoom as well. I think it's better on 2. Okay. Here we go. We're back. Hello. No one was watching anyway. So, right, that's better. Right, we're on. Okay. So yeah, I think we'll get Claude's suggestion. Even with the correct modifiers clears, the click that gives a focus also registers as tile place. The fix is to just gain focus and consume. Okay, well, I think so, in some sense, I kind of, because it annoys me sometimes when you don't have focus. So I think that we'll just try and fix the async key state. Because I think the editor highlighting you sort of forget the window doesn't have focus. So I think that probably would work, just to fix this one thing. Let's have a look. Get async key state. VK. Okay. Well, it's done it then, I guess. I need to build the workspace again and run the client. Okay, that's done. Run client. Right, oh cute, I need to save this out. Just so I don't have to keep doing that, to changing it to QDebug. Okay, so now if I've got focus on this, so I'm focused on Claude, yeah, it worked. And it places something. Okay, so I think that's that sorted. Right, so let's put a bunch of people in. And they kind of spread out quite nicely as they go to the goal there. But then you kind of want them to start going away from where there's density. So let's see if we can steer this a bit better. And for these ones, I think we can go to planning mode because it's better to do that. Where's it gone now? Okay. Planning mode. And I'll say high effort. Okay, and I'll probably have to tell it I commented out the old queuing behavior. it feels a bit off. At one point, it felt better. Like we had a queue system that kind of was working. I really want to try and nail this. The queuing element of this. Okay, another thing that I think would be helpful is to have large goal region. Oh, they do spread out inside it. But I think if I just place like one agent, for example, he'll stop soon as he gets to the edge of it, and he won't stand in the region. Right, which is a bit weird. Well, he has now, actually. They have some sort of movement, but... queuing and sort of the goal state. So we have a number. You know, agents get to the edge of the goal region. Agents get to the edge of the goal region and stop. Where, you know, it would be more natural to wait within the goal region. So that's one thing. Queuing, so that, like, maybe we say that's phase 1. No, let's do it. Queuing state seems to propagate very quickly, with a lot of distance. The agents. Soon as one reaches the goal, a chain reaction happens. If they have no queue, no, they sort of clump together. But eventually they kind of spread out. So I'd like the spreading out process, the spreading process over the goal region. Spreading out of the goal region should happen in advance, where agents might avoid densely populated goal regions once we get the nailed. So previously what it was doing, it was using in the grid we have a density grid value. And we can use that basically because that's kind of how these things should work. But say for example, what I think should happen is essentially if I have a couple of people here, then you see how he's ignoring that one now, and he went nicely to the side. It's almost like we want to do that. Like the actual flow map should change. So basically based on that example, you know, like, see this person would do that, and they're like, oh, I'm going to go, you know, if I want him to go there, or any of them to go there, you know, I can get rid of this, and then he's going to go, I'm going to wait at the end of the platform. I want these behaviors to happen more naturally. Like, if I, so this is a hard one to explain. So, imagine, and I don't know if you can imagine, do LLMs imagine? Do LLMs dream of electric sheep? That's an interesting thought. So imagine a sort of a platform. I think I was able to do some diagrams before, so it's like we call these F. Right. Okay. So it's floor, floor, floor. P equals platform. What happens now is all agents clump and go direct to P0, right? Eventually, they get pushed out. I want some agents to go to different sections of the platform. So basically we can tell it that way by deleting some platform tiles and triggering the rebuild of the I can get that behavior. So what I think is another flow map is, so do we need another flow map? Where density effectively So where the density effectively sort of, what would it disable, like disables a goal. Agents stay within. This isn't necessarily queuing. There is going to be another scenario of queuing where they have the gates to go through, like barriers, and then they will have to queue like single file kind of lines. Queue wise, so actually I'm just going to say this is maybe but I do want something. But no, let's see what it says. In plan mode, right? Clear agents. Okay. No, we don't want to do that. Reset the map. Oh. So yeah, like these ones. Oh, let's put them here. So this one would be a case of that the density is going to happen, and then they're going to have no option but to queue, right? And like what's going to happen? They just push each other right up, and at this point you would just form a queue. So yeah, I've got two decent scenarios here. There's two things. There's like density avoidance, and then queuing is like when that the constraint can't be met. So I think that both of them are linked. Right, so I put Claude into high thinking mode. Let's have a look at the code. This was an attempt to get that kind of avoidance, lateral spread velocity, but it just made the behavior a bit weird. The queuing, I thought I had a queue neighbor waiting. It feels like the length, like the distance it was doing the check for the queuing was a bit wrong. But it's like in this one, if you disable that one tile, which is a goal, there would be no goal to go to. So at that point, then you have to. It's like, I don't know. I don't really know. So, oh, that's another Claude. Now I have everything I need. It always says that. Let me write the plan. So like here they kind of go next to the, you know, they're pushed into the wall. That's another little thing, they're kind of clumping there. But you know, they do go there. You would just feel like some should just go around. And like, yeah, at this point they shouldn't be pushing. They'll just be like, oh, there's a queue, you can't go through, you know? Why does it need time? Okay. Now where's the plan? Okay, the queue waiting behavior was commented out because it felt off. The two distinct problems need solving. Agents stop at the edge of the platform. Flag waiting is never written. So the agents never halt. No, that's wrong. So the agents never actually halt inside the goal region. They do. So we don't want that. Approach two small independent steps, implement each and test separately. Step 1, re-enable waiting inside the goal. Ah, okay. Yes, I see. So that's fine. We can reinstate waiting at goal flag. Which I just commented out, but that's fine. Density aware flow seeding and periodic rebuild. So it's suggesting we rebuild. So it does a periodical rebuild every 1.5 seconds. So then we use the density. Platform capacity. Okay, so this is quite a simple plan actually, and I like simple. I mean, oh, this one's, they've all been pushed out of the collision because it's got too dense. So I'm not keen about constants, always goddamn constants. Density, cost, scale, right, well. I think some sort of continual building, I don't know, probably on a thread. You could have a threaded system. Let's just see if it works first. I'm not keen about, well, let's see. Let's just say go ahead. Right, YOLO. And yes, an auto accept. Just get some shade. Right. So one thing actually that I forgot, I should have said this at the start of the thing, that I think Claude's got worse, much worse, and it's using more tokens as well. So a double whammy. It uses more tokens and it's worse. That's just my anecdotal experience from stuff I was doing the other day. And OpenAI's put the token price up as well. So maybe the bubble is starting to pop of AI. But we'll see in how Claude has done. I mean, that was very simple. For all the explanation I made, Q debug. Okay, so now, agent. Oh, it's crashed. Memory allocation of that many bytes failed. Why? I think... it was the hot reload. That's that one. Okay, so then the constant of... This is... I'm going to put it in here. Q debug. So then I don't have to keep typing that out. Okay, so now Q debug is the default map. Agent. Hey. Now I'm going to have to run it in debug now. Crashing. That's not good. So that's Claude. He's introduced a crash here. Now it's not happening. Okay, so yeah, they're like, oh god, oh no. That's a bit... Oh, mate, that's annoying. Because they're just going back and forth. So the wonder... Right, it's kind of working a little bit in principle, right? Because they are going down there. It's just this jitteriness. Okay, so we'll get it to fix that then. Okay, so... Oh, that's the wrong thing. But it didn't crash, and it was crashing in release, right? Let's see if it crashes again now. No. Oh, that's annoying. There's an intermittent crash somewhere. Okay. Okay. Okay, let's say it's improved, and we go back to plan mode. So when waiting, so when an agent reaches goal, it's edge of the tile. They should wait inside the tile. It didn't pick this up last time, I said that. They should wait inside the tile. When they are in goal state, they can move out of the goal the density changes, and then other agents will go to that goal, but it can oscillate on and off, causing the agents to move back and forth. We need this to be stable. Agents should stay in the goal. That should fix it, but also, for now, that should fix that one. Was that it? Because I've got some goals. Right, well, anyway. More explaining, less doing. Okay, I've been going an hour. So I've been trying to do 2 hours on this. See what Claude is thinking. Yeah, so what's going to happen here, though, is that they don't get to the goal, they just fiddle around. So we'll do this bit at a time. Come on. But the map rebuild is pretty decent, but this is gonna be happening a lot, and there's gonna be multiple goals. I think that there should be something like, maybe we should be rebuilding all of the flow maps all of the time in the background, asynchronously. Because it doesn't matter if they don't update immediately, they can be quite laggy, I think. And they could propagate as well, kind of slowly. I'm not too bothered about that actually. Performance-wise, it's fine. I still do want to make sure the agents are kind of, I can get 10k, 100k maybe. Very small change. If at goal, okay, the velocity just becomes 0 if at goal. Tile centering force, okay. Pull towards tile center. I'm not sure about this because what if so if there's multiple agents in the tile and they're both pulling to the center, because at some point I'm going to have to do trains for them to get on and off, and when they go in them, they'll have to have designated spaces they can wait. So I'm wondering, okay, so it's not got that, so it clamps them. This is kind of boring. Floor agent. I mean, that's better. They're not, they start waiting. I think that, that's quite cool actually. Waiting tiles, what's it saying here? Pass 5. I'm not sure I'm keen on this. No, I think I'm just going to say the behavior currently. Let's pause on this. Yeah, so I think let's have a look at just some more. If I do a bunch of agents here. Oh no, actually, could do with a reset button. ECS menu has a reset button. Can you bring that? So I'll just get it to do that. Adding that for me. Okay, and then let's say 8 maybe. 8 by 8 agents. Yeah, cool. So this is nice actually. They're going, yeah, they're behaving pretty nicely. Obviously we're going to have I mean, they're finding gaps, which is pretty good actually. So they're like, okay, I can wait there, but I think they need to move inside the tile. There should be more space. Okay, so now I think they've hit a condition where this is where they need to queue. Right, this is where they need to queue, and they've gone into idle state. Let's take that. I'm quite happy that actually, though. So they need to go inside the tile. And, you know, maybe I think at max density. Build failed. Oh, we need font awesome. Oh, that's fine. For the icon fonts. Okay, so let's make... Actually, while I'm here, just so I can remember... Okay, gonna put some to-dos as well. So, to-do. Yes, that intermittent crash. That happened to me today as well. Less removing is happening. But that's been taken out. That's what I'm working on. Okay. So for to-dos, rebuild flow, continuous, async, because there's going to be multiple flow maps, multiple directions and stuff like that. Just so I don't forget about it. Okay, let's run this. Okay, and then while I'm here, context window. Probably need a new one actually. It's getting a bit. Let's start a new Claude. Right. So now, what do we need to do? Like, the issue is, I think that they need to like wait inside the platform, right? Because what I actually want is, you know, a platform may be bigger, you know. So agents reach goal and stop at the edge of the tile. tile edge. The goal is actually a region. A region. They should go within, and it will make more room for other agents to reach the goal. Let's just see how that works. See what it thinks. So, yeah, agents. You know, they're just like, oh, I'm at the thing. But, you know, they could fill out this and they could make more room for other people. And improve the kind of the density. I see. So this actually breaks it because these are goals that are beyond goals. So it's not working at the moment either. So that the having two rows of platforms confuses the I suppose I suppose they need to be connected. Maybe I shouldn't be worrying about that. Reset. So let's see what Claude says. So I don't know how to resolve that actually. The single tile is it's like the region could be bigger. I mean, we could have another kind of tile, right, where it's like it's not a goal, but it's somewhere they can wait. And I'm wondering, like, what I was thinking about with the train, they'll have to have designated seats and places they can wait. And maybe that would be the same for a platform. Like, it could be a thing where they go and then, I don't know, there's a certain, I don't know, that you want the density to kind of pack it out, right, though, as well. In terms of, like, a train, they would sit on a seat or stand in certain places. But then if it got really busy, they would just fill all the available space. Maybe that might be a kind of a way to do it. But yeah, fairly happy with how this is coming along now. I think there's getting them to fill the waiting area a bit better. And then there's a question of how we handle density overload. I mean, that's kind of, they've sort of filled it out, right? Let's reset, and I think that maybe if we make them go to goal number 1, there's quite a lot of these guys. They might naturally do it now. See, it disables the queue. They have this kind of spread out behavior. I mean, I think that it kind of works, right? They've formed a queue. I think one thing that might be handy to do now would be to be able to say, to despawn the entities inside the tile, and then what we would see them naturally would move forward in a line. The jitteriness, obviously that's a big thing we need to sort out as well. So So it's saying we should track the entry edge of the tile. So we park each agent minimally at the edge they came from, leaving the tile interior accessible for others to pass through or to occupy. So we have new arrival. So new arrival. So then when we're at the goal section, so we replace this code with was waiting at goal and not was waiting. And then we have the new arrival flag. snap newly arrived agents to the tile edge. Change velocity for Wondervel and Flowvel. I'm not sure about this, what it actually is going to do. I think I'm just going to say, I'm going to push this in Git, because I think this is kind of queue and weight spreading. Goal improvements. I'm just going to push this one into Git, and then I suppose I'll just take these changes. So snap to the entry edge of the goal tile side agent came from, opposite flow direction. I don't see how that moves. When flow is 0, keep current position. Oh, I see. So I think that what it's saying is it snaps them to the back and then it allows agents to pass through, which is desirable, but I think you'd want them to do it the opposite way. You want people to go forward more first. Let's see how it works. I mean, it's not too much in terms of changes, so I'm fairly happy. Actually, and now, I know I said Claude's gone worse, but also it's generating less code, which is good, because before it was generating so much code. How long's this been going for now? 1.5 hours. I think I might call it shortly because I am hungry, and I try and get back and do one of these more frequently, because I'm not making much progress really. Okay. Let's see. So, oh yeah, that's newly at goal. Clean build. Okay. So double thickness tiles. They're not passing through though. Oh, maybe they are. they're still quite dense. They can pass through, but I think I need a different kind of tile. And maybe the multi-line ones aren't necessary, because you would just have floor, and the goal is actually the edge of the platform. That's maybe that's a better idea. So goal, maybe goal changes. I think single. It doesn't make sense to have multi-line. I think what the goal should be is here. Should actually be the goal, right? So I don't think that worked really. Oh, actually, well, let's see how it works on the single tile. The single tile approach. It doesn't really feel any different, I don't think. So that's why I did that, because I wasn't sure about what it was saying, and I don't think it was the right thing to do, which is fine. That is, I don't have to take the code. Okay, so I think the way it was working nicely. I just think I've got to I think simplicity is always the best. 8 by 8. It's got that crash again. It's overflowed its stack. Yeah. That feels nice. Okay. So what we want to say is that I mean, it is a little bit weird because, like, some people might just wait here, or they might be like, oh, I know the platform's there, so I can just wait. So yeah, I mean, they're in kind of like waiting mode now. They're just like, oh, I'm spreading out. But I don't want them to spread out so much if they're kind of near to the goal. So these are just like, oh, cool, I'm just going to wait. Hang on. So if I have a bunch more... I think that... he's not moving because there's no goal. Okay. Let's try and put Claude to some work then. Okay. Right, so I'm just going to explain. I didn't. So the changes there didn't really help. Okay. I think reframing. Single line goal is okay. In fact, the current behavior the agent, so we can consider that instead of this being the platform, right? This is the platform, train platform, and this is the train track, right? So you don't want to stand on it. Well, like that could be, you know, like the yellow zone, right? It's like don't go over the yellow line. The yellow line is there, and the train would come in, right? So we can be like, cool, that's where they do wait. That's the maximum of where they wait. So in fact, we can consider that the platform tile is the yellow line that, you know, you should stand behind. Okay. So, you know, agents fill up along the platform with regard to density. Once the platform, once the density is saturated, we have no goal tiles. So agents do not queue. So so new agents no longer pathfind. We need no longer pathfind. We still need goals. And we need to form queues behind the, you know, the sort of the tiles that have, you know, reached density. I'll see if it understands what I'm saying. I'm not really sure myself how we would resolve this. So we need a new goal where we'd go to behind one. I'm not sure really. Obviously, like these guys, they've got close, so they're kind of fine. You know, this is a natural queue that's formed, but this guy's a problem. He needs to pathfind toward the queue. Okay, I'm gonna queue this. If like So this might be crucial for information. So if there's a dense bunch of entities, they all head toward the goal, and then when density, the agents the agents form a natural queue. The spread is a bit much. In this state, although the spread is a little too much. I think they should be a bit densely packed, because they're densely packed, right? The main issue is new agents far away need to pathfind their way to the queue. And we need, you know, and same, and then like density of queue should also, you know, sort of steer them. So yeah, basically, you know, a queue could form here, and then the queue would form there. It's like clear. Okay, let's see how it works. Well, okay, let's see. I put it in plan mode, but it just suggests. Oh no, it suggests it didn't plan. Huh? That's a bug. That is a bug. That wasn't plan mode. Maybe it just knew it's a small change. So let's have a look. Agents. Let's put one down. 8 by 8 agents. So yeah, they're like, okay, I'm gonna go down here. But it's a bit weird. It's like some of them might just go, I'm gonna just wait here, you know. So now, but now this is just getting so. It doesn't seem to be working, because I think they should be going down here more. And if they were packing in like that, I think I'd be fairly happy. No, let's ignore this. The sort of the flow isn't working correctly yet. So what it is like they move. along the platform. So they move along the platform. Initially, to avoid density. The flow map updates. When when density is full, where they previously the flow map now so we go back to the original problem. Everyone clumps. So everyone clumps to the same tiles. We need we need it like iterative. So we like we do initial. We need it to be iterative, so they they spread out multiple times. I don't know if that makes sense, but let's see if I can get this one. Because if I can get them, like, obviously they're a bit crowded here and clumped in, but we can, I mean, that's kind of what I wanted, right? It's just that, this space, you would fill it out, right? You wouldn't clump it. We want them to fill out this, but then also it'd relax a little bit more as well. But I think in general, this is kind of how you want it to behave. If we can get them to spread across there, then we can say, well, you don't have to cram into the goal. You can be near a goal if your neighbour's in the goal, And then we had this before. There was some code that was like it checks, a person says, I'm at the goal, and then you can look at your neighbour, and if your neighbour's at the goal, you can be like, okay, well, I'm nearly at the goal. I don't have to go there. The problem was that, I don't know. There's edge cases. It sounds simpler than it is. So small change to add density in the neighbors. Okay, let's see how this goes then. Agent 8. That one again! It always seems after a hot reload has happened. It's like... Okay. No. Because they're using density. It needs to only be... So it's... I mean, actually, it might be okay. Only density at goal tiles. The density, like the behavior. Well, I don't know. Maybe you would want that. You know, people are trying to avoid. It does give some kind of movement to it. But they're like, you know, people are... I don't know, people are kind of going backwards and... No. Yeah, so we do want just only density at gold tiles, I think, for now. Because they still want to go here. Right, they're not going there. Okay, so agents, 8 agents. I fear we're just going to go in a loop here. So then now they go back to here. Some saturated. Okay, so then it just becomes... It's the same's happening again. This rebuild flow. Okay, so we've got update flow field. So I know what I want this to do actually, but I can't be bothered reading the code and figuring it out. So I think I know what I can tell Claude to do. It's not desirable. It's not working. Like the initial pass works. So the initial pass works. Agents move away from occupied goals to empty ones. Once all are occupied, the flow map just points toward all goal tiles. So what we should do for each goal, we should disable the currently highest density so basically to account for all tile density. So what do? We get all tile density. Highest density. So the old code that just disables occupied goal tiles. We have like that, but multiple stages. Multiple increments. So wait, disable goals that don't reach threshold. Once all goals reach threshold, we double threshold. Something like that. So then we'll get better uniform density, and I think once I have that, the uniform density, then we can think about spreading out, because they don't need to be densely packed, or the goal, the platform region could be bigger, or you look at your neighbors and so on. So I think realistically, if we can get that uniform density there, then we can go, okay, fairly simple change. And I think this will be the last thing. If I can get them to densely pack up there, then I'll be happy, I think, with the progress today. Okay. Oh, this old thing. Fuck's sake. Okay, let's go. Let's go. Bad vibes. Right. Crashing. Okay. Okay, so now these become full. They move along. I mean, they only get one. It's One's full density. So some would go here, but that's quite good because they've already gone down there and there's more stuff has moved up. Okay, and then, yeah, these are going down that end. Okay, cool. Jitteriness and along edges is a problem. Actually, let's see. I'm just going to disable the debug rendering. Debug draw agents. So I get invoked from. I could just comment that one out. Just to see it without the debug lines, it might look a bit nicer. Oh my god, crashing again. So it's after a reload, always the first time. After a hot reload, the first time putting down agents, it crashes. The problem is with the debugger attached, I think the hot reloading doesn't work. But I could catch it. Annoying. Annoying. Okay, so this is without... without debug draw of the agents, so we can just see them without the lines, and they might look a bit better. Okay, so we're going to go and fill that up. But now look. Oh, they're going there now. So that's, I don't know, it kind of makes sense, right? There is a little bit of shifting and but I think that's, in principle, I think this is pretty good. I think it needs, obviously, finesse. Like, now they're a little bit like trying to fill in the density. But I think, obviously, the other thing now is like, if they're near the goal, they could just wait and they don't have to crowd so closely. But yeah, I think this is kind of, you know, busy. Well, yeah, I think I'm going to call it there. Has it been about 2 hours? Yeah, it's been about 2 hours. So, let's just do... that was it. Sloppy Game Dev number 7. Fairly, I don't know, some progress is made. Still needs a bit of tuning, but it's been a few weeks since I did this, so it's good to get back into it. Sometimes you have that problem of like coming back to a project, remembering where you are. So yeah, I think the next thing is trying to get the queuing behavior a bit better, and sort of remove this need to densely pack places out and relax the requirement of reaching a goal if you can see people and you're near to the goal. So I think that would be, let's see if we can get that element of it working, and then I think it kind of, the stuff that I did today is kind of pushed it in the right direction. But yeah, if you enjoyed this, give me a subscribe and let me know what you think, or whatever, comments and all of that. Are more than welcome. Check out the thing on GitHub or my other stuff I'm doing on YouTube. I'm making a LLM smart speaker. And that's it for now. Alright, have a good one. Bye.